what we have here is a piece of mahogany, and I will pare it down using the bidan. Now this bidan is a double-sided, this is the chuck by the way, and with a wrench. You can slide the tool back and forth inside of the handle to eliminate or to reduce the vibration as necessary over the tool rest. In this case, we're going to use the bidan. This side has a 1/4 of an inch round cutter that you can see here with a 15 to 20 degree bevel on it that could be used in contouring. And right now we'll use the bidan to remove some of the material on this piece of mahogany. I turn rather quickly. This is up around 3,200 RPM, and we'll remove a bit of material here to start off the box that we're going to be turning. I'm far away from the piece. Generally speaking, people will take a round cutter like this, which is, in theory, it's a scraper, and they'll use it dead on like this, and what you're really doing is just scraping. What I do with these cutters is I turn it on the side and introduce it as a shear cut. You can see it shearing the wood. You can see those curls coming up. This, of course, is scraping. Shear cut. Now you can see that I'm sculpting with this tool. All I was doing was following the bevel in that case. Here, slight shear cut. I'm going to switch to the round cutter, and I'll explain that. This is a round carbide cutter. To introduce a new cutting edge on this, what you do is you remove or you loosen the center screw and you revolve the cutter as necessary to expose a new cutting edge as you dull it, which takes quite a long period of time. This tool is not only great for shear cuts, but you can utilize the bevel on it as a sculpting tool. You can shear cut, clean up this curve a little bit. You can see I'm picking up the cut. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off here, and I will go almost concave on the bottom to give it a slight concave feeling at the base of the actual box. We'll cut it off about here. There we go. It's a nice clean cut off. We have a very simple box. What I want to do here is I want to give this a slight round and try the chatter tool and see if we can get maybe a couple of different patterns on it. So I'm going to use the round cutter, the round carbide cutter, and give this a rounding. Again, shear cut, very simple. Works very well. Here, ride the bevel. That is a very nice surface. Again, it burnishes the bevel, and the skew action of this round cutter is just to be believed. Bring it back about 6-7 inches. from the piece at a down angle, and what I'm going to do is, again, as I discussed before, if this is a clock face, we're going to go from the center down to 7 o'clock. It will chatter, it will move. The higher squeal you get, the more pattern you get, and let's see what we come up with. This is at high speed. All right, let's see what we came up with. That is an incredible pattern. My gosh, look at that. Slow the lathe down. Okay. Oh, that is pretty. That is very pretty. So you see that the lathe speed has there's a direct correlation between the lathe speed and the patterning that you're going to get. And each one is different and takes a bit of experimenting until you finally get what you want. But this is probably the best chatter tool that I've seen in the industry so far. I've used most of them, and I've not gotten effects like I've gotten with this one. I'm going to ride the bevel and form the front of the bead. Of course, you could do the same thing with a gouge. However, this is more fun. And it seems to me to be a lot more controllable. Because I'd like to hollow the interior of it. We will use the 40-degree cutter. It's cobalt steel. It's the same shape basically as the straight cutter. We're going to be using an angle, pretty much following the collar of the ball. Notice I'm only holding this with 2 fingers. The first third of this hollow form, I would say, is about a 1/64 of an inch thick. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to part the top portion of this, and we're going to work down progressively till we finish the interior of it. So I'm going to go in, and on purpose, I'm going to remove the top. You see the shelf right here that I made? Here is the wall that we're following. If I were to continue the wall as we had it without removing the front, I would have followed this all the way down. Same way. What we're going to do is we'll address the interior of the wall, and we'll start off with the round cutter, round carbide cutter, and this is the scraper. This is spring steel. It's very much like a cabinet scraper, and it's ground at a 15-degree angle, bevel, and we'll use that to bring it to the ultimate. You would go back in with the scraper, go through the hole, come up to the neck, down angle, series of the 32nd inch beads. This, of course, could be put on the end of a pen, underneath the clip of the pen, as a detail. That was fun.